Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this week's video, we're gonna do something actually a little bit different. You guys know that I usually like to film videos right over here in the studio, in my setup, and teach you guys some lessons, but actually have been so wrapped up in work lately that I haven't really had time to focus on creating YouTube content, let alone content in general. So this week's video, I'm just gonna give you guys a quick little update on what's going on in my life and what's also going on in my business, since that has been taking most of my focus lately, and then hopefully you guys can get some takeaways out of that as well. Well, just to get started with the video then, the first thing that has changed is we moved into a new villa this past month, which is pretty exciting. I'm really digging this place. It's got a pool, it's got indoor living, it's got 4 bedrooms, and we only use like 1 or 2 of them. So it's got all the check marks. It's also got a cool little cabana over here that we can chill in. It's actually all stuff that's pretty difficult to find here in Bali. Usually you either have outdoor living, which isn't really the best when you have to work inside all day, since it does get super hot out here, or it doesn't have a pool, or it's not modern enough. And this one happened to check all the boxes. So yeah, we moved into this place about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And since then we've been focused a lot on work. And that brings me to the subject of work, which I wanted to update you guys on as well. So as many of you guys know, I do sell a lot of programs online. I have digital products and I have online courses. And I started off back in 2019 selling a $97 course. And although I did have a good experience selling that course, my main goal with selling programs is to get people results. And unfortunately, what I've noticed is that a lot of people who buy these cheaper programs, they just kind of buy them and then they don't do anything with them. Not to say that the value inside of the course isn't any good, it's just that people don't appreciate it as much when you sell it for a lower price point. Also, on top of that, when you're selling a course in the $100 or $300 range, there's only so much you can provide. And what I've noticed is that there are a lot of people that struggle to get their stuff up and running, especially when it comes to online business, because there are so many little nuances that you run into on a daily or weekly basis. And when you're first getting started, that can be pretty discouraging for a beginner. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a program where I can directly help people, like one-on-one, personally help them out, or put them inside of a group and practically give them like a done-for-you type service and give them as much as I possibly can until they have to obviously at some point begin doing some work themselves. I want to be able to provide as much help as I possibly can. So that's why for the past month, I've been restructuring my entire business to be tailored more towards higher ticket clientele, people that can, first of all, afford to start their own online business, because I think there's this big misconception that starting an online business is free. And although it is cheaper than any other business you can imagine, like, if you start a brick and mortar clothing or retail store, you have to have tens of thousands of dollars to invest. With online business, you can get started with a few $1,000s, but you still have to be willing to invest a few $1,000s. And I get the feeling that a lot of people who start online business, they think that they can get started with like $400, and that's just not the case. And if you're starting with $400 and you're spending like, 100 or 200 on a course that's gonna teach you half of it, you're not gonna have enough to play around and spend some money on Facebook ads, spend some money on like a website. There are a lot of expenses that are involved. Like for example, I pay $100 a month for my music subscription. I pay $100 a month for tracking software. I pay like $300 a month for my websites. And there's so many different costs that add up to over $1,000 a month for me. But in my case, obviously those costs are a lot more expensive since my business is a lot bigger. It's not free. So I wanna make sure that the people that I start to work with actually have money to invest into their business. And those people should be able to afford a program that's a little bit more expensive. And then in return for that, they will be able to get private time with me one-on-one. I'll also pretty much create all the things that I've noticed that all my previous students struggled with, which is like the website, all the automation systems, and like the sales scripts and templates. I'm pretty much gonna make sure all of that is done for my clients, so they don't even have to worry about that. They just worry about creating the product, and then I'll take care of like pretty much the entire rest of that. So in order to articulate that offer, what I've been doing for the past 3 weeks is I spent 3 weeks writing a script for an hour-long video that's kind of like a demo. and shows people what is included inside of the program, because as I've told you guys before, copywriting is super, super important. And essentially what copywriting is it's being able to articulate what you offer and create desire for it, so people understand, how valuable what you're offering actually is. So in order to get that message across, I wrote about a 30-page script for a video, and that script I revised 10 times. So I wrote 30 pages 10 times. That took me about 3 weeks. Then I actually recorded the video. That took me 2 days. It was 2 days of 4 to 6 hours of filming. And after all the videos were filmed, I am now editing the video, and I'll give you guys a quick little sneak peek how this looks. All right, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this video is about an hour long, and you can see each one of these little lines is a little cut, and then all of these little things on top are layers, so like titles and effects. And I've spent about 3 or 4 days, maybe even a week now, editing this entire video with all of these effects and animations, which, yeah, it's a lot of work. But the good news is that this video should get the message across, and that's pretty much what I've been working on in my business. And then also, let's not forget about Jenny. Has been working on her business as well. What are you working on? Nice. So we pretty much got the workhouse going on over here. My program's getting redone. Jenny's redoing her website for her jewelry, and yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So that's why I wasn't able to post or organize a video for this week's YouTube video. And I will have something coming up next week. And obviously the new program is gonna get released as well, which is really, really exciting. And you guys will be able to check out the video that I spent the last month creating pretty soon as well on the website. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much just a quick life update. What else has changed? Oh, also, I stopped being vegan. Been vegan for 2 years, started eating meat about a month ago, and that's another story for another day. But the reason why I decided to stop being vegan is because I felt like there were so many conflicting pieces of advice on both sides of the argument. And I realized that when I started being vegan 2 years ago, I didn't really do my research that well. I mainly just looked at all the information that vegans were putting out there, mainly pretty much meaning that I had a huge confirmation bias. So after looking into both sides of it, I kind of realized that I think it largely depends on where the quality of your meat comes from. Again, I'm not a doctor, so don't take my word of advice for this. Go do your own research. But I mainly decided to stop being vegan, mainly because I realized I didn't do as much research as I thought I should have. And also just because I wanted to see more results in the gym, and I felt like I wasn't getting enough protein. And I can say that after eating meat for about a month or 2 months, after being vegan for about 2 years, I've gained a lot of muscle in the gym very, very quickly. And I started working out about 2 years ago. So it took me 2 years to get a very tiny bit of muscle. And then in the past 2 months, after starting to eat meat again, I've gained a lot more muscle, which I'm really happy about. That's mainly one of the biggest reasons why I decided to stop being vegan. And I did feel like I wasn't getting enough protein in my diet. And looking back at how I was eating a year ago, I definitely wasn't getting enough protein in my diet. So that's not to say there aren't ways you can get enough protein inside of a vegan diet. I just didn't feel like supplementing with protein shakes and protein powders all the time. I wanted to be able to eat a fully balanced diet and get all my nutrients that way. So that's pretty much the quick life date that I wanted to give you guys. Business completely being reshaped, moving around, also gonna travel soon, probably gonna go to Estonia for another business reason, and also stopped being vegan. And other than that, that's pretty much what has changed in my life. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and gave you maybe a little bit of insight into things that you can do for your business, or if you want to travel, move to Bali and live in the jungle with us over here. It's pretty fun. So anyways, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.